Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I am Ahmed Abrar Mola Qureshi, and today is lecture number 2 of Cambridge International AS and A level economics. The topic today is basic economic ideas and resource allocation. First of all, we'll study about the fundamental economic problem. But before we start this study, I want to remind that in the previous lecture, we studied about the definition of economics. Now, economics can be defined as it is a social science which deals with the study of the distribution and allocation of scarce resources in order to produce the goods and services required to satisfy the needs and wants of the people. Now, because every government has to do that, use the scarce resources in order to satisfy the needs and wants of his people in the economy, therefore, a fundamental economic problem arises because of that. Now, you know that the resources are scarce and wants are unlimited. That the resources which we need to produce goods and services are not available in abundance, or if they are available in abundance, they are not unlimited. They are finite. But the wants of the people may be unlimited. They may continue to grow over time. They may continue to ask for more goods and services with the passage of time. So, the resources are not always enough to satisfy all the wants of the people. So there is a difference between needs and wants. Needs are the basic needs, that is food, shelter and clothing. Food, shelter and clothing are required for survival. They are essential for survival. But the wants are not essential for survival. Without them, the human beings can survive, but they do make the life easier for the consumers. So, now this fundamental economic problem is that the resources are scarce and the wants are unlimited. And therefore, this problem is also known as scarcity. So, in short, we can define scarcity as limited wants or unlimited resources, unlimited wants and limited resources, and we can also call it the fundamental economic problem. The fundamental economic problem is also known as the central economic problem. It is also known as the basic economic problem. Now we move further. Scarce resources which are required for production of various goods and services, they are also known as the factors of production. It means that those factors which are required for producing goods and services. Now these factors of production are also known as inputs. The inputs which will produce the outputs, that is the goods and services. The goods and services are together known as the commodities. So whatever we buy from the market are the commodities. That is, we also buy goods, we also buy services. Now the factors of production, that is the scarce resources, are 4 in number. Number 1 is land, number 2 is labor, number 3 is capital, and the 4 is entrepreneur. So land, it means all natural resources on land. It may include lakes, it may include rivers, it may include seas, oceans, the forests, the resources, minerals inside the land, oil, gas, coal, and any other minerals present in the land are included in the factor of production land. Even the buildings which are built on land are also included in the factor of production land. The next factor of production is labor. The labor means the human beings which give their physical and mental expertise to the people. Now labor also does physical work. It can produce things and goods and services. And they can produce goods, and they also give you mental labor, that is, they give you services. So the labor includes the human beings. All labor force is included in the factor of production labor. Then we have capital. Capital in economics means the man-made machinery, the machinery which is made by man in order to produce goods so that it can satisfy the needs and wants of the people. The man-made machinery is known as capital, but if we add the word financial with it, if you say financial capital, it will become money. So only capital in economics means man-made machinery. The next and the last factor of production is the entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is the businessman or the risk taker who combines the other 3 factors of production, that is land, labor and capital, in order to produce a good or a service. For example, an entrepreneur wants to produce cars, so he will need land, a factory, You will need labor to work over there, the technicians, the scientists, and then you will need capital, the machinery which can assemble the car. So the fourth one is the entrepreneur himself. So in any production process, all four factors of production are involved, but their proportion of participation may differ from one production to another production. Now, if we look at this concept map, this map shows that on the left hand side, the limited resources, which are the land, labor, and capital. Now they are used for production, and then from this, these resources are organized by enterprise. The enterprise is used by the entrepreneur, and enterprise is actually the ability of the entrepreneur to organize these factors of production. Now this enterprise is also known as an organization. The organization also uses this enterprise, and the risk taker, that is the entrepreneur, he also uses this enterprise. So by using this, he produces for consumers and producers and government. He produces products for consumers, and he produces product for producers. He also produces product for government. Now all these consumer producers for government, they consume the goods and services produced by those limited resources as land, labor, and capital. Now these land, labor, capital are the inputs. They are the factors of production, or they are the scarce resources, and the goods and services produced are the outputs, which are then used by the consumers, the producers as well, because producers buy machinery to produce their things, the government also, and this is known as consumption. So the wants are unlimited, that is things and goods and services wanted by consumers, producers, and government may be unlimited. So that is why we face the problem of scarcity, and that is why we face the problem that is known as fundamental economic problem. So the process of producing is known as production, and the process of consuming is known as consumption. Now we come on to the next topic, next heading, that is the choice and the opportunity cost. The choices are made by the consumers, the firms, and the government. They have to make choices. And why do they have to make choices? Because they don't have unlimited resources. They have limited resources. So with those limited resources, they can choose between 2 or 3 things, that whether they should produce one or the other. The consumer may choose to buy a car or furniture. The consumer may choose to buy a book or a shirt. The firms may choose to produce watches or belts, or government may choose to make a dam or a motorway. So they have to make choices because the resources are limited with all these economic agents. Now we come on to the concept of opportunity cost, because we have to make choices, and when we make choice, the concept of opportunity cost arises, and the concept of opportunity cost says the cost of the next best alternative foregone. For example, a consumer wants to buy a book or a shirt, and he has money of equal to rupees 1000. He chooses to buy a shirt instead of a book, so he spends all the money on the shirt and leaves the next best alternative, that is the book. Now his cost of the next best alternative, is the cost of the book, will be known as his opportunity cost of buying the shirt. I again repeat, if he has 2 options between a book and a shirt, if he chooses to buy the shirt, then the opportunity cost for buying the shirt will be that book which he has left. So the next is the basic questions faced by all societies, economies. Now all societies and economies, when they produce something with their scarce resources, they have to decide what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. For example, what to produce means they may like to produce agriculture or manufactured goods. They have to make a choice, or maybe they can produce in small numbers, both of them. How to produce by using labor or capital intensive methods, maybe using labor a lot or capital a lot, or maybe land a lot, which production they will require, and for whom to produce, that is for local level or regional level or for the whole economy. So these 3 main questions have to be answered by all economies. So that is it for today. In the next lecture, we'll start with the the next term, ceteris paribus. So that is for the next lecture number 3. Take care. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.